Hello and welcome to the first episode of Mindful Musings, changing your thoughts, changing your life. I'm your host, Dr. Prakash, and I'm thrilled to have you join me on this journey towards transforming the way we think and ultimately transforming our lives. Today, we are diving into the basics, the foundation of understanding the power of our thoughts. But first, let me share a personal story with you. A few years ago, I found myself in a job that was incredibly demanding. Every morning, as I prepared for work, a cloud of anxiety would settle over me. The dominant thought in my mind was, I'm not good enough for this. I'm going to mess up. These thoughts were relentless and I believed them wholeheartedly. As a result, I felt stressed, my performance suffered, and my self esteem plummeted. One day, a close friend of mine noticed how drained I looked and asked me what was going on. After I poured my heart out, he said something that changed everything. He said, what if those thoughts aren't true? What if you are just telling yourself a story that isn't real? That question was a revelation. It was the first time I considered that my thoughts might not be facts. This brings us to a central idea of today's episode. Not all thoughts are true. Our minds are incredibly busy places, generating thoughts based on our past experiences, fears, hopes, and everything in between. Some of these thoughts are useful and true, but many are not. They are just stories we tell ourselves. Imagine you are walking through a park, enjoying the sunshine and the fresh air. Suddenly, you remember a mistake you made at work last week. That single thought shifts your entire mood. You start to feel anxious, your heart rate increases, and you lose the enjoyment of the present moment. What's happening here? You see, thoughts have a powerful influence on our emotions and behaviors. But here is the crucial part. They are not necessarily reflections of reality. They are interpretation, and interpretations can be challenged and changed. So how do we start changing these thoughts? The first step is awareness. Begin by noticing your thoughts throughout the day. You don't need to judge them or try to change them at this point. Just observe. When you catch yourself thinking something negative like I'm not good enough, take a moment to pause and simply acknowledge it. Next, ask yourself two questions. Is this thought true or is it helpful? You might find that many of your negative thoughts are based on old fears or misconceptions. By questioning them, you start to weaken their power over you. Here is a little exercise to practice this week. Each day, set aside a few minutes to reflect on your thoughts. Write down any recurring negative thoughts you notice. Then, for each thought, ask yourself if it's true and if it's helpful. You might be surprised at how many of your thoughts are just stories that aren't serving you. As we continue this series, we'll dive deeper into specific techniques for challenging and changing negative thoughts. We will also explore how mindfulness can help us stay present and less reactive to the thoughts that do arise. Remember, the journey to changing your thoughts and your life starts with small steps. Awareness is the first step. By becoming aware of your thoughts, you're already beginning the process of transformation. Thank you for joining me on this first episode of Mindful Musings. In our next episode, we'll explore the nature of thoughts and how they shape our reality. Until then, take a moment each day to observe your thoughts. You have the power to change them, and in doing so, change your life. Bye.